Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The June 16th edition of WWE Raw saw an unfortunate event. As Liv Morgan sustained an injury during her match against Kairi Sane, the contest was a back-and-forth affair until Sane ducked Morgan's kick, which caused her to take a bump on the mat awkwardly, and the impact resulted in Liv dislocating her shoulder. Recent reports suggest that she requires surgery and will be on the shelf for months to recover. Bodyslam.net, single quotes, is Corey Hayes, reported via his official X Twitter account that now that Liv Morgan is injured, major plans are being changed and worked out, which includes the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship held by Liv and Raquel Rodriguez, following the concerning reports that emerged regarding Liv Morgan's injury and her being sidelined for months. Her opponent, who went 2-0 against the Miracle Kid, broke her silence on the incident. Sane has suffered the pain of being away from action due to injury. She returned to action in May. She took to her social media accounts and penned an emotional post, writing that she never intends to hurt her opponents and trains hard to give fans a show. Any injury that occurs during her matches breaks her. Furthermore, she wished Morgan a speedy recovery and promised fans that she would deliver entertainment, not pain. It will be interesting to see what plans WWE has for the Women's Tag Team Championship next. As Morgan walks away with an injury, the evolving landscape is never short of twists, and one of the latest shakeups involves reported changes to the company's tag team title plans following the unexpected injury to Liv Morgan. According to new backstage reports, WWE officials have been forced to pivot from previously mapped-out storylines involving the Women's Tag Team Championships after Morgan sustained what's being described as a significant injury during a live event match earlier this week. The extent of the injury has yet to be publicly confirmed, but sources indicate that it may sideline Morgan for several weeks or even months, depending on further medical evaluation. This development comes at a critical point in WWE's summer storyline buildup, with the tag division beginning to gain momentum once again thanks to a renewed focus from Triple H and the creative team. Liv Morgan and her tag partner Zoey Stark had been quietly building chemistry on screen, with hints of a future title chase brewing over the past several episodes of WWE Raw. Insiders claimed that WWE was preparing to pull the trigger on a major storyline involving Morgan and Stark as a babyface unit to challenge for the Women's Tag Team Championships at SummerSlam. However, with Morgan now potentially out of action, those plans have reportedly been shelved, forcing WWE to scramble and find a new direction for the division. Multiple options are currently being discussed internally, and fans should expect a notable shift in programming as early as next week's Raw. Several sources close to the situation note that WWE had already filmed promotional material and preliminary backstage segments teasing a long-term program involving Morgan and Stark, targeting Alba Fire and Ela Dawn, the reigning WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. The segments were intended to begin airing later this month to coincide with WWE's post-King and Queen of the Ring shakeup. However, with Morgan's sudden injury, much of that material is now expected to be scrapped or repurposed for alternate use. One WWE producer reportedly described the mood backstage as frustrated but adaptive, noting that while Morgan's injury was a setback, the company has several talented women ready to step up in her absence. One of the most talked about names in the aftermath of Morgan's injury is Ivy Nile. The rising Raw star has been receiving increased television time and is reportedly being looked at as a possible replacement to join Zoey Stark in a temporary tag partnership. Though Nile and Stark have little on-screen history, WWE officials are said to be intrigued by the dynamic that could emerge from pairing Stark's intensity with Nile's powerhouse style. Another name being floated is Shayna Baszler, who has already established tag team credibility and could seamlessly slide into a storyline while adding her own unique flavor to the division. While nothing is confirmed, fans should not be surprised if next week's Raw or SmackDown sees the beginnings of a new partnership introduced. Some within the company are also speculating that WWE may use this injury setback as a storyline opportunity to relaunch the women's tag team division entirely. The titles have often been criticized for lacking direction or being treated as afterthoughts. But Triple H's recent comments during a press conference hinted at a renewed commitment to rebuilding the women's tag, seen as a legitimate and compelling part of weekly programming. With Liv Morgan out of the picture for now, WWE might take this moment to refresh the championship picture altogether, possibly holding a mini tournament to determine new no-one contenders or even vacating the titles. Depending on how long current champions can stay active without credible challengers, there is also growing fan concern. Regarding Morgan's long-term health, having only recently returned from a prior injury, the possibility of another extended absence is heartbreaking, not just for fans, but for Morgan herself, who has worked hard to re-establish herself as a prominent figure in the women's division. Her alliance with Zoe Stark was viewed by many as a breakout opportunity for both women, and the chemistry they were beginning to show in and out of the ring had potential to resonate with the audience. WWE has not yet issued an official statement regarding Morgan's injury, but it is expected that updates will come through either on social media or during a segment on Raw, possibly with Zoe Stark addressing the situation directly. It's also worth noting that Morgan's injury has ripple effects beyond just the tag division. WWE had reportedly been planning a crossover storyline that would involve the women's tag team champions appearing on both Raw and SmackDown in the lead-up to SummerSlam. Liv Morgan and Zoe Stark were intended to be the catalyst of this brand versus brand intrigue, teasing, dissension, and competition between the women's rosters. With that plan no longer viable, WWE may now need to reallocate screen time and resources toward other superstars like Bianca Belair, Chelsea Green, or even a returning veteran to help carry the summer programming. The timing of this injury is also notable considering WWE's ongoing effort to elevate newer female talent and present fresh matchups. Triple H and his creative team have been particularly invested in giving mid-card female stars more meaningful television exposure, something that was evident in recent episodes featuring longer women's matches and multi-person segments. With Morgan now on the shelf, that initiative faces a new challenge, but also an opportunity. Talent like Katana Chance, Kaden Carter, and Tegan Knox could find themselves suddenly thrust into more prominent roles as WWE looks to fill the void and maintain storyline momentum. In terms of backstage reaction, several WWE superstars reportedly reached out to Liv Morgan privately to offer their support. One unnamed top WWE star said the locker room was gutted to hear about Morgan's status, citing her hard work and resilience as a source of inspiration. Liv has become something of a locker room favorite due to her upbeat attitude and willingness to adapt to different creative directions. Her injury, while unfortunate, may serve as a rallying point for the women's roster as they continue to fight for more representation and championship prestige. There is also growing speculation among fans online that WWE may revisit past rivalries or partnerships as a result of this disruption. Some have floated the idea of reuniting Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler if Rousey were to make a surprise return, while others think now may be the perfect time for WWE to bring in a NXT call-up like Roxanne Perez or JC Jane to add new energy to the tag division. With WWE having a deep bench of talent and increasing willingness to mix brands, the options are certainly available, though the final direction will ultimately depend on Morgan's recovery timeline and the creative team's willingness to improvise. Meanwhile, WWE's medical team is said to be working closely with Morgan to determine the full scope of her injury. Early reports indicate it may be a shoulder or near-related issue sustained during a high-impact spot at a non-televised event, but until further diagnostics are completed, the company is proceeding with caution. WWE typically refrains from rushing talent back from injury unless cleared 100%, especially after recent scrutiny over talent safety and long-term wellness. Morgan's fanbase, known for their passionate loyalty, has already taken to social media to share messages of support and hope for her return. Live. Morgan's injury comes at a time when WWE is riding a creative upswing, and while it's certainly a setback, it's also a critical test for the depth and adaptability of the women's division. With premium live events like SummerSlam and Payback on the horizon, WWE will need to make quick but thoughtful decisions to maintain fan engagement and storyline coherence. Whether that means crowning surprise new contenders, inserting former champions back into the spotlight, or launching a brand new tag team initiative. One thing is clear: change is coming to the women's tag team division, and it's coming fast. For now, fans can expect WWE to begin weaving this real-life injury into its scripted programming, potentially using it to fuel Stark's motivation or even ignite a solo run in Morgan's absence. Stark is a standout performer in her own right, and with the right push, she could elevate herself into title contention either in the tag division or even for the Women's World Championship down the line. WWE is also reportedly considering more on-air backstage segments and sit-down interviews to explain Morgan's absence while keeping her name alive in the storyline conversation. Ultimately, Liv Morgan's unfortunate injury has created a ripple effect throughout WWE's women's roster, and how the company responds in the coming weeks will be crucial. Will they play it safe and rely on veteran names, or will they take a bold leap and use this moment to catapult fresh faces into the spotlight? Regardless of the path chosen, fans are in for some major adjustments and possibly shocking developments. WWE's tag team title plans may have been altered, but the opportunity for evolution remains wide open. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.